Okay, we've all been there, right? You sit down, you're totally determined to get some studying done, and then you blink, and somehow an hour has passed and you've accomplished basically nothing. Well, if you've ever struggled to stay locked in, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to crack the code on focus with some science-backed methods that actually work.
I mean, come on, does this sound familiar? That feeling when you just snap back to reality and you're like, wait, what was I even doing? It is so frustrating. And that's the exact focus drain we're here to solve today. And right here, this is probably the most important shift in thinking we're going to talk about. If you've ever gotten mad at yourself for getting distracted, you need to stop. Seriously, this is not a test of your willpower. Focus is a skill, and just like any other skill, it can be learned, it can be mastered. You just need the right playbook. And here is that playbook. First, we'll get into the science of why our brains love to get distracted. Then, we'll dive into the practical stuff. How to set up your environment, how to structure your work, how to fuel your brain, and finally, how to master your own mindset. Let's do this.
All right, first things first, you've got to know your enemy. So before we can even begin to fight back against distraction, we have to understand why it's so powerful in the first place. And it really all comes down to basic brain wiring.
So really, why is it so tough to just sit down and concentrate? The answer isn't that you're lazy or undisciplined. It's because your brain is literally designed to seek out what's new and interesting. Every little notification, every random thought, it gives your brain a tiny reward, a little hit of a chemical called dopamine. It feels good to be distracted.
I love this analogy because it's just so perfect. Think about your attention span as if it's your phone's battery. When you're distracted, it's like you have 50 apps running in the background. Checking your phone, thinking about what's for dinner, wondering about that email. Each one sips away your mental battery until you've got almost no power left for what actually matters. A focused mind, it's about closing all those unnecessary apps.
So if you take one thing away from this section, let it be this. Please, let go of the guilt. Your brain's tendency to wander off isn't a character flaw. It's just a biological feature. And the best part? Biology can be managed. And that's exactly what we're going to get into right now.
So how do we start managing that biology? Well, we start with the things we can control, our surroundings. Your study space shouldn't just be a random desk. No, it needs to become your command center, a place that sends a clear signal to your brain that says, okay, it's time to focus.
And here's exactly how you build what I like to call your fortress of focus. First, try to have one dedicated spot. Over time, your brain will literally start to associate that one chair with focus. It's called contextual cueing. Next, a clear desk equals a clear mind. Get rid of anything that isn't absolutely essential for what you're doing. And your phone? Oh, it's the #1 enemy of focus. The best thing you can do is put it in another room. And finally, figure out your soundscape. Maybe you need total silence, maybe some lo-fi beats help you get in the zone. Experiment.
Okay, so you've built your fortress. Now, how do you actually get the work done? Well, that whole idea of just grinding for hours and hours, it's not just miserable, it's also super ineffective. The real secret is to work like a sprinter, not a marathon runner.
This is the legendary Pomodoro Technique, and let me tell you, it is a total game changer. You go all in with intense focus for just 25 minutes. That little deadline creates the sense of urgency that just kicks your brain into high gear. And then, this is the best part, you take a completely guilt-free 5-minute break. Do that 4 times, and you've earned a longer break. It works with your brain's natural rhythm, not against it.
And hey, for those of you who are ready to level up a bit, you can try expanding this to 90-minute deep work blocks. It turns out our brains naturally cycle between high and low alertness roughly every 90 minutes. So by working in these 90-minute chunks, you're basically syncing your study schedule up with your body's built-in energy cycles. Pretty cool, right?
Now, listen, you can have the best focus techniques in the entire world, but they won't do any good if your brain is running on fumes. So let's talk about the actual physical fuel your brain needs to perform at its best.
Just look at this chart for a second. This is wild. Being just 2% dehydrated, which is so little you probably don't even feel thirsty yet, can cause your cognitive performance to drop. That means just keeping a bottle of water on your desk is one of the easiest and most effective study hacks out there.
And of course, it's not just about water. You want to fuel up with slow-release energy from things like nuts or a banana, not something sugary that's going to make you crash. Definitely avoid a big, heavy meal right before you study. That just sends all your blood to your stomach instead of your brain. But the golden rule, the absolute non-negotiable foundation of focus, is sleep. An all-nighter doesn't make you a hero. It just makes your brain incapable of remembering things.
We've handled the externals, your space, your schedule, your fuel. So for our final section, we're going internal. How do you deal with those distractions that pop up from inside your own head?
This technique is so simple, but it is unbelievably powerful. Just keep a notepad and a pen next to you while you work. The second a random thought pops into your head, like, oh, I need to email that person back, or what am I going to have for dinner? Don't fight it. Just jot it down on the pad, you dump it out of your working memory. This frees up your brain to get right back on task because it knows that thought is captured safely for later.
And please remember this. When your mind drifts, and trust me, it will, don't get frustrated. See it as a good thing. Every single time you notice you've been distracted and you gently pull your attention back to your studies, you've just done a bicep curl for your brain. You are literally making your focus muscle stronger.
So let's put it all together. Remember, focus isn't some gift you're born with. It's a strategy you build. You study in smart sprints, not grueling marathons. You treat your environment, your food, and your sleep as crucial focus fuel. And you keep a distraction dump nearby to park all those random thoughts. That's it. That's the system.
Now, all this information is great, but it's useless unless you actually do something with it. So here's your mission. Don't try to change everything all at once. The very next time you sit down to study, just try one 25-minute Pomodoro sprint. That's it. Just one. See how it feels.
And that brings us to our final question for you. Think about everything we just covered. What is the one single thing you can commit to doing differently next time? Are you going to finally move your phone to another room? Are you going to clear your desk? Or maybe you'll try that one Pomodoro. Just decide on one thing, and you've already taken the first step to building your fortress of focus.